Real Madrid let slip away a £56 million player who was literally waiting for a call from Valdebebas. And more. To this day, he still asks behind the scenes about our new commander, Xabi Alonso. Meanwhile, one of the pillars of our defense is going through an unbelievable moment. He lost his spot, is watching a 20-year-old take his place, and for the first time since arriving at the Bernabeu, he is no longer untouchable. And there's more. A star worth £70 million could join our squad as a replacement for a veteran who no longer has space. And of course, there's a little Frenchman making history and sending a message to everyone. If you are a true Madridista, one of those who get excited with every signing, every rumor, and every drop of sweat on the pitch, then subscribe to the channel now. Here we live Real Madrid 24 hours a day. And turn on the bell, because here, information arrives faster than a Vinny Jr. counterattack. Madridista family, hold on, because this is the kind of news that makes us wonder what could have been. Arsenal shelled out no less than £56 million to take Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, a heavy investment for a player who has long been considered one of the most complete midfielders in Spanish football. But what no one at the Emirates will tell you, and what is now echoing in the Spanish press, is that the player's desire was different. Zubimendi wanted to wear white. He was waiting for a sign from Valdebebas, waiting for that call from the backrooms of Chamartín that never came. According to a report published by Defensa Central, the midfielder was genuinely excited about the possibility of playing under Xabi Alonso, with whom he had already worked in Real Sociedad's youth system. And more than that, Xabi is his declared idol. Zubimendi himself said in an interview with Spain's national radio that Alonso had always been a reference for him, both on and off the pitch. This emotional connection was so strong that even after being signed by Arsenal, Zubimendi kept discreetly asking how things were going at Real Madrid. During the last Spanish national team call-up, he looked for information directly from our defender Dean Huijsen, the revelation of the season and a key piece in Alonso's new tactical system. The conversation was informal, but revealing. The Spaniard's interest in Valdebebas' routine is still alive, even after committing to the Gunners. And don't be mistaken, thinking Zubimendi is just another good name on the market. He has been publicly praised by Rodri, European champion with Manchester City, and the absolute reference in the position. Rodri said Zubimendi has the mentality and discipline to be one of the best in the world, if he isn't already. And more, he said he handed him the keys to the team. This shows the level of respect and projection the Spaniard has earned among Europe's football elite. But even with all this expectation and prestige, Real Madrid never made a concrete proposal. Journalist David Ornstein from The Athletic confirmed that the Merengue club never entered formal negotiations with the player, although they closely monitored his progress throughout last season. The decision not to move forward makes sense within the club's new management model. With Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Valverde dominating the midfield, and with the philosophy of investing in players with long-term growth potential, Zubimendi, at 26, no longer fits the recruitment profile outlined by Florentino Perez and his board, especially considering the cost of the operation and the internal competition already consolidated within the squad. However, there is no doubt that Zubimendi had, and maybe still has, the dream of wearing the Real Madrid shirt. And as we well know, in football, dreams don't die easily. He may be in London today, but his heart, it seems, still beats stronger for Madrid. And if Arsenal don't reach bigger heights, or if the midfielder doesn't achieve the prominence he expects in the Premier League, who knows if this chapter won't still have another paragraph written in the Spanish capital. Because one thing is certain, when a player of this level waits for you and doesn't get the call, it's impossible not to wonder, what if? So, Merengue fans, do you think Real Madrid should have gone all in on Zubimendi? Would he have a place in this star-studded midfield? Comment below. I want to know if you think we lost a star or if it was better to let him go. Now, full attention, Madridistas. Because what is happening in Real Madrid's defense at the start of this season may represent one of the most significant changes of the Xabi Alonso era as head coach. If there was a name that, until recently, seemed untouchable in the club's defensive system, That name was Antonio Rudiger. Since his arrival, the German defender established himself as one of the most reliable figures in the backline, being a reference of leadership, physical strength, and tactical commitment. A true warrior on the pitch, one of those who never hide in big games. But times are changing in Valdebebas, and changing fast. In the first matches of the season, it became evident that something had shifted in the hierarchy of the merengue defense. After serving a suspension in the opening match against Osasuna, Rudiger returned against Oviedo, where he even had a solid performance. However, what came next took many by surprise. He stayed on the bench for the full 90 minutes in the following round against Mallorca, even though he was fully fit. This kind of coaching decision is unusual when it comes to a player with his track record. And it's not just a matter of rotation or rest. What's happening is a structural transition, guided by a new philosophy imposed by Xabi Alonso, who shows complete confidence in a new piece of the squad, the young Dean Huijsen, only 20 years old. Huijsen is not just filling space. He is earning minutes, gaining respect, and taking on responsibilities as if he were a veteran. At 1.90 meters tall, with excellent reading of the game and an impressive ability to play out from the back with quality, the youngster is becoming a pillar in the team's build-up play. His physical presence, combined with composure on the ball, is delivering exactly what Alonso wants, a modern, reliable defender with room to grow. On top of that, there's another factor weighing in this new scenario: the full recovery of Eder Militao and David Alaba. Both have returned from long-term injuries and are now available again, dramatically increasing the competition. For the first time in many months, Real Madrid counts on 5 high-level defenders: Rudiger, Militao, Alaba, Huijsen, and Raul Asensio, the latter also being closely watched by the coaching staff. In this context, Alonso is making a choice that goes far beyond punctual meritocracy. He is signaling a conscious and strategic renewal, prioritizing players who fit the model of play he wants to implement, and above all, who have a medium and long-term future at the club. Rudiger, at 32, still has plenty to offer, but the message is clear: no one has a guaranteed spot. Even with the unfavorable scenario at the club, it's important to highlight that Rudiger remains a key piece for the German national team. During the last FIFA break, he was a guaranteed starter in the matches against Slovakia and Northern Ireland, showing he is still seen as a technical and moral leader at international level. But in Madrid, the criteria have changed, and Alonso does not hesitate to put his convictions into practice, even if that means leaving an experienced veteran on the bench. The challenge now for the German defender is more psychological than physical or technical. Regaining space in such a highly competitive squad requires resilience, discipline, and top performance in every training session. The season will be long, the schedule demanding, and opportunities will certainly come. But if he wants to return as a regular starter, Rudiger will have to prove his worth again, as if he were a rookie. Because in Xabi Alonso's Real Madrid, it's not about who has the resume, it's about who delivers on the pitch. And right now, the balance is tipping toward the new generation. Now listen, family. Mbappe is back from the FIFA break on fire, and not just because of what he did on the pitch, but because of what he said afterwards. In the matches against Ukraine and Iceland, he scored 2 goals that put him above Thierry Henry in France's all-time scoring list. Now, he's only behind Giroud. And what did he say after surpassing one of France's greatest idols? There's more work to do. There's still another name to surpass. In other words, Mbappe wants to be the all-time top scorer in French history. But he didn't stop there. He dropped this bomb. Now it's back to Madrid. Brother, the man is obsessed. Mbappe made it clear that his focus now is to also make history wearing the Real Madrid shirt. And already this weekend, against Real Sociedad, he could be back on the pitch. But with the fatigue from the FIFA break, it's possible Alonso gives him rest and starts Vini Jr. and Rodrigo instead. But one thing is certain, this guy came to make history. And when he speaks, it's not empty words. Hold tight because another bomb is coming. Real Madrid is monitoring the market to bring in a new elite defender, and the name of the moment is Tottenham's Mickey van de Ven. Yes, him. The guy who came to Spurs from Wolfsburg and is already worth £70 million. Why? Simple. He's fast, 1.93 meters tall, can also play as a left back, and forms a solid partnership with Romero. Real sees him as an option in case the Konate saga doesn't move forward. Konate, also a Madrid target, is entering the final year of his contract with Liverpool. If he leaves for free, it would be another masterstroke by Florentino. But if things stall, Van de Ven is the luxury plan B. With Alaba and Rudiger nearing the end of their contracts, Real wants to secure defensive renewal with top young talent. And let's be honest, after seeing what Alonso is doing with Huijsen, just imagine what he could get out of a guy like Van de Ven. If you made it this far, brother, you're one of mine. So if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click that red button, turn on the bell, and join us. This is true Madridismo. No filters, no nonsense. And drop a comment, which of these news hyped you the most? Zubimendi, Mbappe, Rudiger's drama, or Van de Ven showing up as the new wall in defense? We're in this together, Madridistas. See you in the next video. Hala Madrid y nada más.